What is going on, guys? Wisco, Cisko coming at you with a little tier list action of Day of Infamy maps. Some of you guys are probably sitting there going, why did he make a tier list of a dead game where only 100 people play? And it's because I'm bored as hell in coronavirus land, baby. That's why. Let's get right into it. Everybody knows how a tier list works, right? We got tiers on the left, S, A, B, C, D, F, S being the best, F being F for Flakturm. And we're just going to organize these by letters because every single map in this game starts with a B, an S, a C, or an F. A couple R's, I suppose, but no. We're going to actually order this the right way, guys. We're going to go through map by map, order this how Wisco Cisko sees best. And here's my considerations for this list. I'm taking into account offensive, invasion, liberation, and frontline. All four gameplay styles. I'm not messing around with stronghold or any of that garbage non-multiplayer crap that you guys play. No. This is just player to player, straight Day of Infamy. That's the only thing I'm accounting for. I'm also going to account a lot for map design, but a little bit for my own biases. I'm going to try and reel those in a little bit and get it balanced between what I think everybody likes and also what I think are good pros to the maps or cons to the maps. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Salerno, first one. Old Day of Defeat Avalanche. I'll let you guys collect your brain matter off the wall for those that never realized that, and you guys are still scraping the brain matter off the walls here. But yeah, it's honestly a great map. It wasn't Day of Defeat. It still isn't Day of Infamy, even with the reworked aspects of it all, with this just being a newer game, making it bigger. But all around, I always have fun on Salerno. It's good on both sides. I find it more fun to be the Americans, but overall, this is, to me, a B map. It's definitely better for frontline and liberation rather than offensive and invasion. But overall, a solid map. There's tons of nice kind of close quarter action, but also long range action. And I think as I go through this list, we're going to find a lot. The best maps have that close quarter and also the long distance. So definitely, that's a solid map, man. That's a B. Also B for Bastogne. I think we're also going to put Bastogne pretty much in that same category. Really good map all around. An original map. Both these are original maps. Bastogne gets really tricky, though, to the point where I'm almost tempted to put it at C, only because the point C on offensive and invasion, the Germans just have a tough time collapsing, and it's really not a difficult point to get. You just need to spam smoke, have the officer call down smoke, and the Americans have a fairly long run to get to C, and it's a tough area to hold as the Americans, but it's inside the church nave, but it's still amazing how little we can ever accomplish getting it as the Germans. And A is kind of boring too, because you just sit around for what feels like forever, and not like a, oh my gosh, I just hope this map ends and we get the victory because this is just brutal. It's so high intensity and stressful. No, it's not at all. It's always really boring on A, I feel. It's just there's no action whatsoever. The Germans are clueless in coordinating, and it's even easier than C. It's just 1 point to call smoke down, and they still don't do it. So I don't know. I'm starting to talk myself into going down to C, actually. Bastogne, it's a beautiful map. Aesthetically, what New World did to make this map, especially me seeing all the iterations since the early days of early access, it's just amazing how terrible the gameplay kind of is. I'm kind of talking myself into D almost, but we'll leave it at C. Camaccio. Truthfully, Camaccio isn't the worst map in the world, but I think I'm going to put it in D. It probably could be rated a little higher, and somebody could make the argument that it's a decent map, but it's truly the most balanced, typical map. Also, I'm just going to scoot this down a little bit for you guys. Oh no. Look at this, my idiot self. Sorry guys, I'm OCD about all that. That's good enough. All right. Camaccio is truly the most balanced map, right? You have the river going right down the middle. Liberation frontline, it's like the exact same point, capturing that bridge. Offensive's really boring. You can't even play invasion on Camaccio. And you can't, I don't think, for Salerno either, now that I'm thinking about it. But truly a balanced map in the sides. There's nothing to seemingly fight over. It seems like this was the first map that they made for the game in just the down, I keep saying it's like down the middle, but that's truly what this is, a balanced map. I don't think we need to touch home on Camaccio a little bit. It's nice because there is some like long distance range, but for the most part it's kind of close quarter. Bolt actions I always think actually do fairly well on this map, weirdly enough though, for being close quarter, so I don't think we need to hit anything over the head more on that. That's just a pretty standard map. Crete. Oh, this is a big one. I think this one's probably my most played map, everybody's most played map, other than maybe Foy or Dog Red. But Crete is, you guys know it's got to be S tier. It's the most played map. It's so fun from both sides, as the Commonwealth and as the Germans. I love being the Germans and just trying to take A and B and C. There's so much adventure to that, especially taking C. The wall is, for this game, that has to be one of the best objectives to capture because it's so long, it's so fun, it's so wide. It's long range, it's short range, it's getting up to those towers. It's a long run for the British that it's tough to defend, but at the same time, it's easy to defend because you kind of clump up once you're there. All around, man, Able is fun, throwing smokes. I have thousands of videos of me trying to capture Able, and all around I just have fun on Crete. Even Frontline and Liberation, capturing that courtyard it's the epitome of what Day of Infamy is. It's the most voted map for a reason, because it's just fun as hell, man. Couldn't recommend Crete enough. That's S tier through and through, not even thinking about going down to A. Alright, Sicily. This one has actually got a little bit of a place in my heart because I always seem to do really well on Sicily. It doesn't get picked all that often, and I get it. It kind of can be a little repetitive, and capturing C is a pain in the ass, similar to the points I was bringing up about Bastogne, where it just seems like it's impossible as the Commonwealth to capture Charlie. But definitely can be done. It's a beautiful map. Like, graphically, it's one of the best maps in the whole game. Also up there with Bastogne, and also an original map. I'm kind of tipping the scales a little bit towards, if it's an original map, I just kind of have more of a love for it seems, than the newer ones. But truthfully, I think we're going to have to group this in the same portion as Bastogne. Beautiful map, can get really kind of tricky and not in a good way to capturing some of these zones. Piat spamming through the roof on this. Good lord, man. It's capturing C for me is the same life every time. Jump through a little window, run around a corner, hope there's not an MG there, throw a Piat up through across the whole street looking down to C. If you guys can follow me at all. Flank to the left, hope there's not another MG there. If there is, throw another Piat up there. Up the little tunnel to the left, the little like corridor. I don't even know what you call that thing. I guess corridor to the left, far left of the map, capturing C. Even a Piat through the window on Dog to capture that too. I've done that in a few Sicily videos I know on my channel. So overall, just a C. Flakturm. This is, what do we call this? Flakturd? Is that what everybody calls it? Bonafide F. To the point where I think we need to just change this to Flakturm. It's by far the worst map. It was the last shriek on the run here for New World to come out with a map and try and inspire people to play this game, and it failed terribly. I couldn't even tell you a positive point towards Flakturm, and objective-wise, I don't even know where any of the objectives are. I know there's C on the roof, but that's A, how little I've played this map, and B, it's nothing stands out to me in this map. It's just boring as hell. It's a kill zone. There's no long range whatsoever. I don't understand why I don't even understand why this map's even in the game. It was so bad. Like, I said Camacho seemed like the first map they made, but Flakturm seems like somebody was just messing around, and they just made a map, and they're like, yeah, we should release this. This is at least somewhat of a finished product. Let's just release it. Let's just move on. SaintLo, weirdly enough, this is Donner as well for the Day of Defeat players. I know I've brought that up multiple times in my SaintLo streams, but this is an A to me. I think SaintLo is a really fun map to play. Graphically awesome, especially if you can get some of the effects of the lightning and the thunder going on around you. It's got that not Day of Defeat. Well, it does have Day of Defeat vibes too, but Saving Private Ryan, that's what I wanted to say. It harkens me back to watching that. It's actually a weirdly beautiful setting on how cold and depressive it is. Germans have it's a balanced map. This is a lot like Camacho, truthfully. Germans and the Americans have an equal chance of doing anything on this map. It's basically just a mirrored map. But there's something fun about it. There's a ton of close quarter action. There's a ton of long range action too. I don't know what makes it not stand out to be an S to me, but it's definitely not a B either, so I think we just have to go with an A on SaintLo. I always seem to do well there, always have fun games. Games too that last a while, like they're not just steamrolled team steamrolled through, team won it in 5-10 minutes per turn. No, it's a really nice balance, but not in the same way Camachio's balance, it seems. It's a nice struggle every time I play it, and I think that's fun. All right, folks, Brittany, this is the one that I think is going to get me the most controversy. I absolutely cannot stand Brittany. I want to actually put this in the D category or the C category, and I'm not sure which one yet. I can't stand this map. I'm going to put it in the D category for now, but I might move that up. I can't stand Brittany, and it gets played so often. That's part of why I don't like it. B, it's just a kill zone on C. There's absolutely no talent to take C in this, other than just hope for luck at the most opportune time that the Germans are down. Baker is okay. Able is pointless because it's so close to the American spawn. It takes 1 second to get there, and we've played it so many times that the Americans can capture it in like 30 seconds, it seems. It's a kill zone on C, like I mentioned. The only redeeming factor that I might move this up to a C is Frontline and Liberation on Brittany are very, very fun. In fact, last night I was playing Dave Infamy for a little bit, and we happened to play Brittany Liberation, and people hated it. They voted to go to offensive like right away. I don't know why offensive, but they did. And I was like, man, I'm the only one having fun on this, because it's actually a really nice map. It's got long range, it's got short range. It's very balanced in terms of sides for, again, Liberation and Frontline only, capturing that middle bridge. But again, the invasion in the offensive is just boring as hell. It's just all log jams, and you just feel like you're running to die. There's no finesse to this game. There's no like Crete, where it really capitalizes on the min and max of the short range, long range. You have a shit ton of scenarios of how you can capture the points. Same with SaintLo. SaintLo is basically an open map as far as I'm concerned. Salerno, same thing. But Brittany, it's just you go into these little kill zones, and it's just so stupid. I never understood why people just love this map. I guess maybe they just are there to shoot their machine guns and get 50, 60 kills a game. And then what's funny is you go play Sicily, and somebody's same player is struggling to get like 2 kills because it's a wide open map, and they go, this game sucks. You guys don't even want... I'm just getting started on Brittany, but you don't even want me to go further. It's just an awful map. I can't stand that map. Ortona, original map. I think this is actually, weirdly enough, a typical C too, right down the line of Bastogne, Sicily, and Ortona. Sounds about right. Very long range map, really doesn't have much close quarter combat at all. I actually really love the setting. I think it's a beautiful setting all around. That extremely long view on Able, if you're a sniper, that like you look down the entire street, down that entire map, and you can barely see like a German sniper by the tank or vice versa, see a Commonwealth in the window. That is fun, man, when you can get a kill or you're playing like sniper counter sniper. I love that. Also great map for the weaponry too, truthfully. I love the Piats in this map too, because you can launch them just 1,000 miles. Good MG nest up in the church there that we can see even on this little cover screen picture. I love it. Even Charlie's a little bit of a struggle to get, but doable, but not like a Bastogne where it just almost feels impossible every time. It's a really big struggle on Charlie and Baker, because there's so many just spots up in the like the church tower, in the nave, but in the like the scaffolding all around and up on the roof, and there's so many just places to go. It doesn't feel, again, this is why I hated Brittany. It's just you're force fed into an alley and that's it. Where Ortona, there's so many creative ways to get creative, rather, that that's what I love about this game. It's a solid C. I'm almost talking myself into going to B, but you can make the case for all three of these to be, it's basically all kind of the same pros and cons. So I don't know, C to me, I would really put this at like a C plus or a B minus if I could. Actually, what's funny is I made this whole thing, so if you guys want to go to tierlist.com, Dave Infamy Maps, or search Wisco, Cisko, and do this yourself, or obviously let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'd be certainly happy to read through all of them, because I know everybody's take on all of this is different, but I think we're going to be about the same, truthfully. Also, I wanted to get this video because, dude, making these things took way longer than it looked. Let me just tell you that. All right, now let's get to a heavy hitter. Foy, what do you guys think? F, Flakturm for Foy, Flakturm / Foy. No, you guys know this is S tier, not even close. Foy, again, same thing as Crete, so creative in the ways that you get to point. Struggle on both sides, as the offensive team is the Americans, the defensive team is the Germans. Fun for Liberation and Frontline. Tons of, I'm hitting the same points of what makes a good map, right? But tons of coordination. The only problem is, what drives me nuts is the Americans stop all the time at that roof building just right where you can see that hotel, but across the street on Charlie. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about, that huge 3-4 story attic building. It's like a freaking wall that nobody can penetrate right there. They just stop. And it's not because the Germans are defending them. It's because they literally just feel complacent for 12 rounds, or waves rather. And I never understood that about the game. And you guys hear me complain about that like every time I play Foy. But all around, I think an S tier map. I couldn't ask for anything better. Maybe Charlie could open up a little bit because you get those like machine guns over here. And you do kind of, there really is only like 2 entrances or 3 entrances. But Baker's fun to swarm. The open fields. And that's another thing. What I love about Foy is that it goes from an open map. Sicily, same thing. I love this. It goes from an open map and it closes into tight quarter combat, close quarter combat once you get into the city. That is awesome. That's a story unfolding through playing a map. That's what I don't like about the Brittany's and the Camachios and the Flakturms. You have the same storyline throughout the whole thing. And that's what I think really does separate these. I'm finally flushing these answers out. I gave this literally 0 thought before I did this video, so sorry. Like every video I do, really, so sorry if these are all scattered. I'm trying to do my best here. Dunkirk. This came out with Breville, which we'll get to later in a separate patch. Dunkirk, actually, I know this... I think I'm going to put this as a C. It's definitely better than Camachio Brittany. I don't really sit there and go, ugh, Dunkirk, when it gets picked. I kind of do that because there's better choices to me, but I understand it's whatever. It's a close quarter map to begin with. I know I just hit home with being creative and how fun this is, but this takes it to the extreme. It goes from extreme close quarter to extremely vast open area when you capture C. That I don't know. It's just it's extreme. It's too extreme for me. That's why it's not a little higher. It's just repetitive, and there seem, especially Able, when you're defending as the Germans on Able, you have where to go. You and 20 people are crammed together in one little street, and it's, or wait, no, I'm sorry, the Commonwealth is that way. The Commonwealth are the defenders, that's right. But the Commonwealth are crammed in one little street. And the Germans too. You just slam into each other like instantly out of spawn. It's so easy to manipulate spawn camping in this early on too, sort of deal. It's, I don't know, it's not really the greatest map to me. I understand with the movie and the hype and all that why people pick it, and aesthetically it's alright, especially on the beach. It kind of looks pretty cool out there, no doubt, but middle of the road map to me. Not a huge fan. Rhineland. I think people sleep on Rhineland, actually. This is where I want to actually put this as a B, and I do think it is better than these 4 maps, but I understand a lot of you don't like Rhineland, so it makes me actually want to put it as a C map. It's a very balanced map. It doesn't get played a lot. I think people sleep on it, though. I think I've always had fun on this map. It's really good for just about, every weapon. It's a rifle. Rifles are king here, especially as the Americans with a Garand. So fun, especially if you want to get good at the Garand. This is a perfect place to do it. It's nice medium range for just about every scenario you're in, even long range. But there's a lot of running involved, and actually Salerno has that problem too. There's a lot of running, it seems, to get from one point to the other point, and then you better hope you don't die. I get why people don't like it. It just never caught on. It's actually kind of always had a place in my heart. I don't know why, but I guess we'll leave it at the C. I'm sure a lot of you would actually probably put it in D or F, because it's just, I don't know what your guys' gripes are. If you guys have a good gripe of why you hate Rhineland, other than maybe it's repetitive and there's a lot of running or something I haven't hit on, I'd probably agree with you, whatever it is. But yeah, leave it in the comments or something, because I'm definitely curious why it doesn't get played that often, because to me, this is, if I was actually ranking this for my personal opinion, this would actually be a B or an A. I seem to always love Rhineland. Reichs Wall, same thing, dude. I would put this as an S or an A or a B. I love this. This actually was one map that, scary at first, but made me kind of fall in love with this game as being so wide open as it is. I'm going to leave it as a B, but I'll probably Rhineland it too. I'll probably move it down to a C. I'm sure you guys, same thing, probably a D or an F. And I guess I get why people don't like it. It's so wide open. You have to be good at this game to be good at Reichs Wall and to enjoy Reichs Wall, because you have to hit shots, and you have to hit moving targets, and you have to hit moving targets that go behind trees and hills and look exactly like the terrain. It's such a difficult map to play. I get that. In fact, it doesn't really even have close quarter combat at all. It's a very wide open, large, long range map, but it's so unique to the rest of these scenarios that I've always just enjoyed it. Even the STG, oh my god, you get an STG on this map. Whew. Watch out, baby. You are having some fun. I've always enjoyed Reichs Wall to the point where I love the atmosphere, everything. It's so beautiful, that orangey, like, sunsetty sky, the beautiful, like, chalet, whatever you want to call it, the little lake, the hillside, man. Not that great on offensive, I will give it that. Very difficult map to coordinate everything. Very difficult because you have to run across, when you spawn as the Commonwealth, you have to run across basically an open hillside with everybody, all the Germans in the hills. Get to the other side, coordinate your smoke and your white foss, sit in this little tiny ass bunker where you hope, or it's not even bunker, it's like just fencing or something, and you hope to just not get grenaded or Panzerschrecked or Stuka, or it's so difficult, but then B is fun. And I know a lot of people just play it for Liberation and Frontline, and I think that's a perfect map for this. It's very balanced in that way. I'm definitely talking myself into giving it a B. I think it's a very solid map. Breville, this came out with the Dunkirk expansion. It gets played more than I think it should get played. I really don't think Breville is that great of a map, and I don't really know why. I can't really put my finger on it, because it does have all the positives of some of these other maps, of course, the classic close quarter and long range combat together, and it does have a lot of those aspects. But I think the thing it lacks is really the creativity again. Able is just so force fed. It's wide open, but at the same time, it just seems like you take the same paths to get to Able. It's justified on that left side of the map, where even if you go to the right side, there's no point. You can't really. It's not like in the center or something. I don't know. Foy's kind of built that way too, though, and I love kind of like I don't know. There's something just lackluster about C and D sorry, Breville. I'm gonna put it as a C and D. I can't. I'm actually gonna put it as a D. It just always underwhelms every time I play it. I don't know why. Maybe you guys can talk me out of it, but all right. Now the heavy hitter, Red Dog, as everybody calls it, right? Dog Red, obviously the classic Normandy invasion map, typical of every single World War II game. It's a fun map, though, Dog Red. It's definitely one of the most creative approaches for something that's so incredibly overdone, but they scale it so well. It is a huge beach. It is a huge run. It takes a ton of coordination to get A, and to get B, and to get C, and it can be a total mess. This is one that sets a lot of good players apart from the bad ones, I think, because the bad ones will sit back and sit there and try and snipe or just get killed on the beaches, and the good ones are actually aggressive in how they're going to get creative to getting those objectives. Overall, I think the map is extraordinarily done. I think it's a B or an A. It's something that does kind of get overplayed, especially early on in Day of Infamy. It got overplayed all the time, but there weren't as many map choices too to begin with, so it was kind of like awesome and novel to play this. But I think I'm just going to rank it a B. I think over the course of the whole Day of Infamy history, it's a really solid map. But at the same time, it's definitely not an A to me. It's definitely not a C either. I think B is an appropriate place to put it. It's not something you groan when it gets picked, at least I don't. But it's also not something I'm sitting there going, all right, Crete, Foy, nice. I can have an awesome, like, memorable, fun-ass game here. No, it's usually right in the middle for that. It's a fun place to play Officer. It's a fun place to play almost every class except for Flamethrower. If you're a Flamethrower on Dog Red, God bless your soul, because you probably ain't making it off the beach, my dude. Even as the Germans, I feel like you're just probably sitting around a little bit, not doing too much. But other than that, pretty much every class is fun. Liberation and Frontline, not that great. But is that rounding it out for everybody? Is that rounding it out? I know I'm moving my screen. I'm trying to, now that we're out. All right, so S tier, Crete, Foy. A tier, SaintLo. I think that's only my own personal opinion. B, Salerno, Dog Red, Reichs Wall. I think Salerno could probably be moved down to a C now that I'm thinking about it, but that was the first one I picked. Bastogne, Rhineland, Sicily, Ortona, Dunkirk. Hey, if you made an argument for any 5 of these maps to move up a slot or move down a slot, I would probably totally agree with you. I think that's why C is where it is. Some of these are C pluses, some of them are C minuses. D, I think Camacho, Brittany, Breville, that's about right for my standing. I know Brittany would probably go shoot to the top. If I had an S+, you guys would probably have that up there. In fact, just forget the list. Just call this Brittany and rank everything S+. Flakturm, we're not even going to mention that anymore. So with that, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. Sorry this is a little bit of a long video and explaining it. I know I went over a lot of points to begin with, and a lot of points that were probably a little redundant, but hey, you know, it's a video game that's based around the same thing of a World War II FPS, so what can you do? It's kind of going to be the same shit over and over and over and over. So with that, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know, obviously, your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. And with that, I will see you all on point.